We are live just outside of the White House now, and I have an opportunity to talk to a very familiar face, Mike Lindell, famous for not just your pillows, but for also election integrity.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long 4 years, but we've got a lot of work to do yet. But I'm very excited for this weekend. Yeah.
We all are. You know, it's funny. This crowd, they're not here to say goodbye to Joe Biden. Anybody want to say goodbye to Joe Biden? No. They're here because Mike Lindell is here, and he's been taking picture after picture. You're beloved.
Yeah, well, you know, it gives people hope. When I have not been back to D.C. since January 7th of 2021. And remember back then when they put the National Guard in the parking ramps, they would not allow my pillow to give them free pillows, to bring pillows into D.C. So being back here, these last 4 years, all I have fought for is to secure our elections, get rid of the electronic voting machines, go to paper ballots, and I think hopefully now that our great real president's back in, that we won't be blocked as much as we were. We were blocked at every turn. I've been attacked. My Pillow's been the most attacked company in history of the planet. I mean, they sued by the voting machine companies, from that to attacked to canceled by box stores, you name it, it's happened. Debanked, deplatformed, and it's a shame, you know, a U.S. company, all my employees, but we've gotten through by the grace of God, and I'm just really excited. It seems like it's been a long time, but yet it seems like almost yesterday being here. You know, it's like so much has happened. And I told people, you know, when I spoke from the Rose Garden, when I spoke there in the summer or the spring of 2020, right before the China virus, right before we got locked up, I said, God has given us grace for such a time as this. Well, people of the last 4 years have gone, Mike, this doesn't feel like grace. And I go, oh, but it is. During this time, people's eyes have been opened up. We're in the greatest revival for Jesus Christ in history. But people, now, I mean, you don't see protesters around. I mean, people's eyes were opened up. They got to experience horrific things that went on in this country, and nonsensical things, nonsensical decisions by a president was an illegitimate president and administration, and they didn't forget the decisions Donald Trump made in spite of all the attacks to get us to December of 2019, when it was the highest consumer confidence in history. Everybody's lives had improved here, whether you were with no forks in the streets or a four-forker. Everybody's lives had physically improved. And so now being able to get that, everybody not only coming into this bucket of common sense, uniting the country. Donald Trump's one of the biggest uniters ever. And I've said this before. Everybody loves our real president. Some just don't know it yet. Okay, I said that way back when, and they're starting to learn. But you go back to, I'm just very excited. During, people don't look to God during when things are going good. It's usually when things are going bad, and we went through so much the last 4 years. But it's back like when I invented my pillow. When we got really big in 2012, in the spring of 2012, when we did our first infomercial, and so many took in $100 million. I was, in 6 months, and I was just so happy. I'm going, this is amazing, and we're selling pillows. But I woke up one day in that May, and we were $6 million in debt, and everything that had happened there was betrayal. There were things that had happened. Other companies that had done things that were done wrong. Well, I learned from that and pulled it all in-house. And if 2012 had not happened, my pillow wouldn't still be here, wouldn't have been here for such a time as this. And I look at the 2020 election like that. If the 2020 election didn't happen, which I believe is the most important election in history, bar none, that if Donald Trump would have been put in right away back then, we would have never known. It would have been a Band-Aid. And it would have been a Band-Aid. We would have lost our country forever, and we would have never known that what could have been by what God let happen. And I'll tell you, all the things in 2020 that we've been able to reveal and that have unfolded over the last 4 years, the corruption, the uniparty, I could go on and on and on. But those things had to happen to get where we're at now. Now you got a guy going in with his amazing gifts that he has a problem solution and what it'll manifest to, and also the experience there. People just asked me in another interview, they said, well, what do you think is going to happen on that? Are you excited for the first 100 days? I'm excited for the first day. Remember, the executive orders are going to be massive because he's looked at these things and all the things. Remember, when Biden went in the first day, what did he do? The most nonsensical executive orders in the history of the planet. You opened up a border that was getting shut down, that was secure. You did that, and then you shut down the Keystone Pipeline. And all prices went up. Shipping went up. He wanted to destroy our economy immediately. I mean, he hit the ground running. I thought at least they'd hang out, maybe not just, if I was their advisor, I'd say, don't do anything until, we'll teach them, we'll try and convince them socialism is good. Instead, they hit the ground running to destroy us.
You have stood by President Donald J. Trump when some would say it was not the popular thing to do. You have been there for him through thick and thin. And to be honest, I follow you very closely. I have for a long time. When it comes to voter legitimacy, you haven't stopped. You're looking towards the next election. You're looking towards the midterms coming up.
Right, absolutely. We've got my teams on the ground. We have the Cause of America. I have the Election Crime Bureau. I have Lindell TV now, by the way. You guys can LindellTV.com. We get the voice out that we have. All of us, we have over 300,000 people on the ground, and we are going to keep working every day to get rid of the electronic voting machines. 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines. 132. The last one being Argentina just 2 years ago, when one judge says, hey, these got to go, and they did it in 4 months. Over 100 countries have banned early voting and mail-in voting. Why do we have the worst election platforms in history? In the history of the world. So, and we are going to keep going. We've got a big report that's going to come out probably in about 2-3 weeks of all the work we've done over the last 4 years. There's lawsuits going on. You're not seeing this in the news. There's everything we've done, all hard work of thousands and tens of thousands of people. And from cyber people to experts to I think judges are going to get braver now. They were afraid before to tell anything about, the machine companies. It's funny how the media protects those companies that control our elections, but yet they attack a company, My Pillow, made in the USA. I mean, it's just nonsensical, and maybe that'll all change now. I've been attacked right now, more now, since the election ended in November 6th than probably any other time. I mean, it's just they've turned it up. And why is that? Donald Trump's already won. You got to ask yourself, why would they be attacking? The IRS has gave mass about it at My Pillow. They've attacked my Lindell Recovery Network. Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota, went after that. So why are they doing this to me? I'll tell you why. Because they want to keep their weapon to steal our elections, which are the computers and the voting machine. And I will say this. And that's the only reason. But we will never stop. We're not going to stop because I don't want Donald Trump, our great real president, to be a Band-Aid. And then, they can start stealing it all back in 2 years. Everyone said to me, on the night of the election, 2:30 in the morning, I was at the convention center, and I had all the usual suspects there. We had CNN, ABC, and I know every single one of them reporters. The Washington Post, New York Times, they're all lined up in front of me. And the one little gal from ABC, she goes, Mike, she goes, well, now that your friend Donald Trump won, do you think this was a fair election? And I said, you know me. I said, any election ever done with computers, I don't trust. And there was so many down tickets that were taken. There was 4 senators stolen, about 9 congressmen, judges across the country. Everyone says, look over here because he was too big to rig. Look over here, and what's going on? Donald Trump won. But we will not forget about all the other tickets down there. And I told them that, and then I thanked them. I said, and all you horrible journalists and attack reporters that have attacked me every day for 4 years. I want to thank you because I was able to get the word out, and you helped get our great real president-elect. And they're all going, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. Yes, you did. You know, and they're attacks because what happened, I want everybody to understand this. On February 4th of 2021, that's when Smartmatic sued Fox News. Well, that was start of lawfare in this country. Everybody that spoke up, they got sued. They went after them. So you couldn't. We lost all our conservative media, other than like RSBN that kept speaking up. No, you guys were a standalone back then, and you helped me get the word out. But when that happened, you lost your Foxes and your Newsmaxes of the world. They became weather channels that would not talk about hurricanes or tornadoes. I'm doing a comparison there. They will never talk about elections. The day you ever see Fox and Newsmax talk about electronic voting machines or paper ballot or anything will be the day that it's already here, because they're cowards and they've sat back and they whatever. I could talk a lot about it. I always say, don't go Fox on me. That means don't go silent on me. And it's disgusting. And then you had so we had to use all the other media to attack in order to get the word out. And, I had to go on places like Jimmy Kimmel, go sit in a crane game, just to get the word out. And just last night, Stephen Colbert, they attacked me last night. I came out with the crosses I wear on my pillow. By the way, everybody at RSBN, go to mypillow.com/RSBN. We put the crosses there today. I'm selling the crosses, the made in the USA, and 30% off. Plus, we have towels that we got in, all the 2025 towels, $29.98, and promo code RSBN. Free shipping on your entire order through the next 3 days, because you guys have been supported. You supported My Pillow more than anyone else. I mean, through this, your audience as with RSBN, and we're very grateful. I don't know if we could have got through with, it goes way back to 2016, and when I first met people from RSBN. But we're so grateful. So that's free shipping your entire order. But last night for the crosses, we did it a week ago. They came in, and the first cross came in. And get them before they're gone, everybody. But Stephen Colbert on late night TV last night just attacked it for selling crosses. It's this is what we're up against. Is they, for some reason, they just want to destroy My Pillow. Now, why is that? Because they want to destroy my voice. They don't want me talking. Let's break him so he doesn't talk. I'm going to tell you all the miracle. Well, 2 days are, I haven't been back here since January 7th of 2021. That day is so critical, January 7th and 8th. You know why, everybody? On those 2 days in history, 1.2 million Americans got deplatformed on Suckabuck's Facebook, Vimeo, YouTube, on Jack Dorsey's corrupt Twitter, and thank God we got Elon Musk X now. But that 1.2, you were canceled if you spoke out about the election of 2020 or the vaccine or Jesus Christ. They put them all in a group, boom. So when I was growing up, I used this comparison. I grew up with black and white TVs, and we turn them off, and it would go down to a little tiny dot, and then we turn it back on, they'd come back to life. Well, that little dot was our voice. If that voice would have went out, we lose our country forever. But the voice did not go out, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now you see, and by the way, that's when Parler got deplatformed. So all the voice back then, which RSBN was one of the voices, and then from back then, though, you think of everything that's come out of that. This is the position we're in now that we didn't have then, which is so strong, and it's perfect for having our great real president back. Our voice have gotten bigger. All the social media platforms that came out of that, Gab, Getter, True Social, my Vocal Social, which I have now. You have Telegram. You have even Suckabuck at Facebook has come around, going, okay, I'm not going to cover up stuff anymore. I'm not the Facebook fact checkers. Alan Duke got fired because they knew that everything was true. They covered up, and so things have changed. We have a voice. Elon Musk with X. Now, everybody, I want to tell you how important this was. Back in June, all this stuff that we were given to Elon about the stolen election, all the machines, and showing him that, he came out in June of 2024 and said the machines have to go. He did it. He did it on X. He did it numerous times. He said we have to get to paper ballots and count. And he's got a big mouth. So And so we got, we're in a great position to all the stuff now that we need to get out, both the good and the bad, to tell the world. People say, well, the truth, where's the truth? Well, we've had the truth all along, but we couldn't get it out there. We were like, raise our hand, they shoot you down, I'm going, hey, we got a problem over here. You know what? You're going to lose all your box stores for speaking out. My pillow, how dare you guys, make pillows here in the United States? I mean, it's been disgusting, but it was all needed. And so this is a big step. But I don't want, here's what's happened. Our biggest victory, we have broke through and beat the biggest cover-up for the biggest crime in history. We beat the cover-up part. We had to get through the cover-up. If we didn't get through the cover-up, Donald Trump would not have been elected. We had to break through the cover-up. The public knew all the fake media, all the attacks. They knew that those attacks, that there really was truth behind it. You don't get back when Donald Trump was getting indicted all the time. He like first indictment, second indictment. I told him straight out, I said, sir, you keep getting indicted, you're going to end up with more votes than voters like Pennsylvania, because everybody kept coming into his bucket of common sense. The more he's attacked, people knew, hey, he's doing something good, and that's worked against them. In any normal time in history, he would have been done, and we would have been done as a country. But evil is greedy, and they overplayed their hand, and we were able to break through that cover-up. It was massive, you guys. But now that we broke through it, now we got to address the biggest crime in history, and how do you fix it? What you do is you melt down the electronic voting machines, you turn them into prison bars, and you start putting these people behind those bars. And, so that's it, right? You agree? But yeah, so I'm very excited that we'll finally get, people have said to me, so Mike, you're vindicated now, the real president's in. I go, guys, the battle we have is to never let 2020 or any election happen again. Where we're going, we're at an apex in history with artificial intelligence and all these technologies coming. If we don't have people that are elected by the people to regulate that stuff, I'm telling you, those tools could be used for evil. You have no idea. And if those people are selected, if evil has control of that, it's over. You have to have, like I say, and the way God's shaping it up now, putting all these people in position, including our great real president, we're going to look back, and you're all going to say, if 2020 had not happened, we would never be where we're at. It had to happen the way it went down, and to go through these last 4 years, and to everything to get revealed, it had to happen that way.
True. It's interesting. That
was a long answer, huh?
No. Hey, we don't expect anything less from you, and that's why we love you.
I was on David Pakman, one of the worst evil podcasters in history, 2 days ago, and he always gets upset. He goes, "Now don't filibuster my answer." He'll give you his question, but he answers the question, and you guys will have to watch it. I think we got, he actually kind of it was about my addiction. It was my anniversary the other day. So, but anyway, thanks.
I had a chance to do a documentary-style show on your life, and I went to the trailer park where you grew up, the bar where you used to throw firecrackers.
Blow them up ahead, stuff like little things like that.
Little things. You're a changed man, and you give gratitude to the one that got you through it, Jesus Christ. When you look back at your life, all the way back then to now, did you ever think that you'd have a relationship with the most important, strongest man in the entire world, and that it would be a solid relationship built on trust?
It goes back to when I was a kid. I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan. But there was a very, very famous picture of Elvis Presley and Richard Nixon, okay? And that picture, I remember seeing it when I was a kid. Well, then after I did all these things in my teens and 20s, I'm going, wow, I'll never be able to even meet a president. But in my mind, I'm going, when I seen that picture, you have to be a Elvis Presley in order to even meet a president. It wasn't the other way around in my mind. Now, you fast forward to when I walked in that White House for the first time, I'm going, wow, I can't even believe it's a miracle I'm even allowed in there. And then I get in there, and one of the first pictures on the wall is Elvis Presley and Richard Nixon. I just got goosebumps. I'm going, wow. And because for me, that was a miracle even to be in there. Then I went and sat down, and it was a manufacturers summit. There's like 12 people. and this seat doesn't have a name tag. I said, who's sitting here? He said, the president is. I'm going, and now I go live to the nation, and he's sitting here, and I'm sitting here. That picture's been out there everywhere. And my friends, all my crack friends from back then, they're going, what is this crack addict sitting next to the president? Jesus is real, because this would be impossible. And for me, I remember when I first had a dream that I would meet Donald Trump before he even ran for president. And I go, why would I meet Donald Trump? Then he came down as my story. If you get my book, What Are the Odds, From Crack Addict to CEO? So I end up finding the Lord, because these things, I was saved February 18th of 2017, everybody. So that's, and what happened was things kept happening that were impossible. I use mathematics to prove God exists, 1 in a million and 1 in a billion, or you have a miracle when you combine them and say it has to be God, right? And that's what happened to me. And then starting in 2015, going into 16, finally that meeting was coming to fruition August 15, 2016. And I remember being in Central Park, overlooking Central Park in a hotel, and I'm going, God, why? I just felt so like, why me? And so it was like the biggest. I don't know what it would be, surprise in my, I'm going, it just, why me? I started crying. I remember that going, and felt, but those were the kind of miracles that happened to where I ended up getting saved and I could give my life to Jesus. And one of the things too was, during that time, I remember I had seen very vividly being in an office with him alone, and I remember flying in July of 2016. Now, I had seen this in May of 15, this vision of that, and kind of in a dream. And now he's running for president and all this. And I remember getting in a plane and heading to California in July of 2016. And I had bought this magazine on Donald Trump, and I'm opening up, and I had my phone set it would ding if I got an email. And at 10,000 feet, I had it set to the internet. And I'm reading this, and I remember shutting it and going, God, if I'm supposed to meet Donald Trump, I need to know. At that moment in time, I get my phone dings, and it's Donald Trump. He said, Mike, this is Donald Trump. Will you meet me at Trump Tower in New York City? I'm going, God? It wasn't that I was meeting Donald Trump. It was answered in real time from God. And I'm going, God, I started crying. The flight attendants going, you okay? Yes, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. And the guy next to me, he's going, are you okay? I'm going, yes. But things like that kept happening. And like I say, right up to February 18th of 2017, I went to it was actually a veteran, and I'm not a veteran. It was, they call it a drop zone. I was invited to go there. That was even a miracle. And I went in there with hopes that I would have what my wife has as a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And I went in there with hopes that I would get what she had, because I always bore my cross. I always wanted. God was always chasing me. Show me more. Show me more. And I went in there and did a full surrender and forgave myself of some that from way back when that I was never able to do. And coming out of there, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders, where I couldn't talk to people, believe it or not. There was very much in my book, I had fear of rejection. Well, you don't get rejected if you don't talk, so God took away that fear. And it was 2 months later, I was speaking at a Christian thing in U.S. Bank Stadium with 50,000 people, leading them in prayer. I'm going, okay, this is weird. So it's all those miracles that but yeah, I would have never, back then, we all have callings, and I would have never, think how big it is. I mean, at one time, my sister, when I quit everything, that anniversary you talked about earlier, January 16, 2009, I prayed to God. I said, I want to be freed of all the desire for my crack cocaine, alcohol, everything I was addicted to at that time. And my sister said, you have a big calling, and someone else is going to get picked. And I remember praying that. I said, okay, God, if I got this thing going on, I was kind of making a deal, right? I said, I want to be freed of the desire. And I woke up that morning, and the desire was gone. It was completely gone. It's never come back for any of it. But and that's why I actually thought I was saved, because it was so different. It was so different. And they, but at that time, my sister says, oh, no, things happen then. Got my pillow back, and she goes, oh, no, my pillow is just a platform for something much, much bigger, she was telling me. And I'm going, how much bigger than could it be? And at that time, I was going around the country then, speaking at churches and stuff to get to my LindellRecoveryNetwork.org, everybody, LindellRecoveryNetwork.org. It's free to help anybody in addiction. And we can always use help there, too. That's the one that Keith Ellison's attacking right now. And then the selection came up and brought it to a level, of the 2020 election. I'm going, came up. And I'm going to tell everybody, I would say, well, what happened back then that got me involved? Right away, I did my own investigations, and I'm very good at math and very good at numbers and card counting and deviations. And what I looked at in November and December of 2020 was all these places, no matter what county or what state you checked on, they had people that voted there that didn't live there. Okay, and I'm going, I just couldn't imagine 4,000 people running from Minnesota into Wisconsin going, hey, who wants to go vote for Biden? Who's with me? Let's go. And it didn't make sense. It did not make sense. So by the time we got to January 9th of 2021, I was given evidence that validated what I already knew. It had to be done with computers, and the rest is history. I mean, it's just, and getting that word out, one attack after another. We were completely canceled by every box store almost in the country at that time when I went public with it. And they were afraid. They were afraid. These were online attacks, and they were afraid that, that those were real people. So all their CEOs made bad decisions then, like your Bed Bath & Beyond, your Kohl's, your Costco's, your Walmart, all of them canceled my pillow. And we were their number one selling product. And they did it out of fear. And hopefully now that that this has happened, now that they, my pillow, welcome them back in, because they still haven't welcomed us back in.
Well, I never thought I'd see Mark Zuckerberg welcome Trump supporters back into the fold, but it's happening, and it's God, just like you say.
And, you speak of Mark Zuckerberg. Can I still call him that? So anyway, what he did before the 2020 election, Facebook would not let me do ads with my pillow if I was in the ad. They didn't, because I was so branded with Donald Trump. You know what I mean? And they were covering that up, an ad cover up, by the Facebook fact checkers. Here's a deal on my pillow, promo code RSBN. Cover it up. That's fake news. I mean, that's what they would do to me, right? It's like, by the way, I do want to keep talking a little bit about the specials, you guys, if you're watching the RSBN. I did this special. RSBN was with all of us. They were the ones that stood up back when no other media outlet would, and that's it. You guys were there for every single hearing, all the hearings, and none of the other media would be there, even the attack media. It would be RSBN, and this is as you rolled into 21 or 20 and 21, and you guys always supported my pillow through thick and thin. So what I did this weekend, promo code RSBN, you're going to get the crosses like the ones I wear that we just got in, that they was attacked on late night TV. 30% off for promo code RSBN. The towels that all came in, the 2025, they're normally on sale for $29.98. But here's the biggest thing. Free shipping on your entire order. Promo code RSBN. Free shipping. And free shipping. And I'm going to tell you, that's the one thing. And this is the one thing. This is what Biden had planned, you all. When he shut down that pipeline with that executive order on the first day, you took gas prices, and what do they affect? Not just what you put in your car. It affects shipping on every product you buy, from your groceries to your My Pillows. So you have all that cost in there. Who pays for it? You all do. That's what's destroyed us the best. They're the biggest. Now, when our great real president takes over this week, the stuff he's doing that's going to immediately help the economy, you're going to get those gas prices are going to drop. Shipping better drop. All the shippers better drop their prices with the drop of gas, and our economy will start roaring. And he said that's the first thing he's going to do over the next how many months. But I'm looking forward to his so free shipping on your entire RSBN. I go all over the board here, I'm looking forward to his executive orders. They say he's got over 100 of them, and every one of them you will go common sense. Problem, solution, common sense. Problem, the party of common sense, that's what we've become. And I told him, you guys, when over the last 4 years, every time we would get in a conversation, he would ask me, how are all of you thinking, everyone thinking out there when they would attack him, let's say indictment or whatever it would be. And I said, sir, here's a bucket. I'd show him 2 buckets. There's this bucket. This bucket is you, a common sense bucket. I said, as they keep attacking, I said, you've never given anybody a reason to leave the bucket. Once you're in there, because of what he had done back then, the economy he had set up and everything, I said, they're pouring in from both sides and the bucket's overflowing. And then I said, and I also told him, and then there's another bucket, and that bucket is Jesus Christ. I said, God. And I said, they're pouring in all these bad things that are happening, right? All the bad things that kept happening. And I remember him saying to me once, I go, sir, I said, these bad things are actually going to help in the long run because their eyes are getting open to the great job you did. And he said to me, he goes, well, Mike, he goes, with all this, they're destroying everything so bad, I don't know if we can get it all fixed. And I said, sir, with God, all things are possible, and him working through you, you'll get it done faster and better than anyone in history.
I love that because not a lot of people would have the boldness to talk about Jesus.
And by the way, he said that's right.
To the President of the United States. And what's interesting about your story is you talk about how you had that vision of being with President Trump, and then all of a sudden he texts you. Yeah. You also came up, you had a vision of the pillow in a dream.
Yeah,
it was a dream. So God speaks to you.
Yeah, it was a dream. That's and boy, even the name. I thought, we were the first my back then. I'm going, that kind of weird. Where's my pillow? But yeah, it was a continuation of dreams. This is before I was even had surrendered my life to God. And but the. I just tell anyone out there, which brings up a lot of things. I'm going to bring up one thing I forgot to say. I talk to people all the time. You talk about, I recognize when I'm hearing stuff from God. Everyone says, we prayed. How many times I heard the last 4 years where it's going, Mike, I prayed, my prayers weren't answered, And I'd say, you know what, those are reactionary prayers, and they might not be God's will. And I said, I would have those prayers in jail, and God, let me out, I won't do it again, but they would say, Donald Trump didn't get in, and I would get this, I'm going, it might not be God's will. And I would tell people, well, where's God's will? God's will is in the Word. I'd say if you stay in the Word, you can be proactive in prayer, and they line up beautifully, and then you can recognize God uses all things for good. So you're taking all the stuff of the last 4 years. He needs that. God needed to use that bad stuff for what's going to happen here. And you're going to look back, just like my life. When I look back on my life, I wouldn't change one thing, all the horrific things that I, with my cocaine, crack addict, all this stuff. If I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And we're going to get to this beautiful place we're heading, and you're going to look back, and we're all going to say, wow, this had to happen because it saved these people. It opened people's eyes. It brought people to the big win, which is Jesus Christ in eternity. So,
Our audience loves the fact that you're so vocal about your faith. And I mean, you're transparent. You're completely honest about everything. I just want to sincerely thank you for everything you've done for RSBN and really everything you've done for God. One day you will get that, well done, my good and faithful servant. But in the meantime, people like us, we need to be reminded of how important Jesus is and to stay centered. So thank you for always lifting him up.
Well, thanks. And that is where it's at. And the big win is this. You think people do not look to God when things are going good. It's when things are going bad. And everybody, even the non-prayers are praying, going, okay, if there's a God, they're getting closer and closer. The people that poured into this bucket of Jesus Christ over the last 4 years, it has to just be overfloweth. So.
Can we all give a round of applause to Mike Lindell? Look at this crowd that we have out here.
And give a round of applause for RSBN. They were there. They were our voice back then. Go to mypillow.com/RSBN. Promo code RSBN. Free shipping on your entire order. The only promo. Let's get help. It's a win-win-win. It's a win-win-win. You're helping my employees. You're helping my employees and us. And as we've been the most attacked company ever, you're helping RSBN. You guys have been with us for thick and thin. We're great. We are so proud to help sponsor RSBN too. You guys were a voice when we needed it the most, and you're helping yourself get the best things ever, the best products ever. And they've got the crosses now, men's and women crosses, you guys, made in the USA, and we got to all be witnesses for God right now and witnesses for Jesus. If you can't be out there evangelizing now for Jesus Christ, you're in the wrong business. I tell that to churches all the time. We need to get our churches involved right now because it's not over yet. This fight, you think evil's going to give up right now? No, they're not. They're not. Evil is not giving up. They've overplayed their hand and they know that, but they're regrouping. Trust me on this one. And so we all got to stand together and just keep promoting the truth and the truth and the truth. And I'm going to do one more plug for my, you guys, I have LindellTV.com right now too, if you can see my show. And now it's on right now. We're putting RSB on there right now. So, but we got to get our voice out. So when you hear stuff, keep spreading the word. If you've got people now that we're on the left or that we're not believers, now's the time to talk to them because things are going to start getting better. Isn't it great that you don't see a lot of people protesting? You know why? Because they're thinking, hey, maybe it was better with Donald Trump. Hello? You know what I've always said, and I'll say it again. Everybody loves our real president. Some just don't know it yet.
Yep. They will soon enough. They will soon enough. Thank you, Mike. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you.
That was a really special interview, a really important interview.